Things are difficult. Life is hard. There's so many distractions out there. COVID. People being jerks. And the one thing that can make it better is aviation gin. Because life sucks. What's up, y'all? I love Ryan Reynolds. Not only is a sassy looking young man, but his commercials are hilarious. And if I had a beep button so I could swear, I would do it. Let's say, while I pour a fresh one. And I do find this quite tasty. This is my mother's fault, because she turned me on to gin and tonics. And then poking around, taking a look at a little Ryan, what he got going on. Oh. See, that's a little, you're supposed to do one of these to two of those. But this is more like a fetty. Oh, I didn't bring up any lime. Oh, well. It's okay. Let me run through. Oh, my God. Bahama Llama's here. I hope I don't screw this up. What's up, Remy? All right, who we got? We got Fragadelic. You're new. Yeah? If you're not, I'm old and I've totally forgotten. So hook me up. Who you be? Oh, you hear that? You hear that fizz? Freedom. That's what that is. It's the sound of freedom. And how do we stir our gin and tonics? With Sharpies. That's how we roll. That's what we do. You know what? Because we're not too good for that. We do what we can. We adapt. We overcome. Somebody's going to screenshot that, and that's going to be unfortunate. So, hey, Can Addict. Hello, Sir Bobby. Y'all were in early, and I really appreciate that, brave heart. Kyle, Casual Reef Keeping. What's up, Kyle? I think that's the first time you've been here. We got Bert. What up, Bert? You post funny stuff, and I think that's funny. And that one about Taylor Swift, that was funny and inappropriate, and I liked it. Speaking of Taylor, Mr. Taylor King, Daniel Evans, hello, mother. Savage is in the house, and you know it's late where he's at. Mr. Don Graham, everyone. Jay Carey, Juan, DMV, what up, sir? Did you like that, Juan? You knew how I was rolling, right? Oh, there's a lot of chat going on. Ryan's funny. Yeah. Semper Fi. What up, dude? You've been posting some good stuff, and I like what you're doing. So wait a minute. You've moved on to like a big tank and a house, and you're chilling on the coral farm there for a little bit? That's what I think you're doing. You shipping bottles out? I'm drinking. I can't ship if I'm drinking. You know what I'm saying? What up, Cam? I dig your positive vibes, sir. I do. It's been a while. It has been a while. Always seems weird when you're having nice drinks and I'm starting my workday on a Monday morning. Yup. Yeah, but you're from the future. So you can tell us what's going to happen before our dumbasses get ourselves in trouble. Oh, how long have I been streaming? My kid says I'm not allowed to swear for the first minute or I'll be demonetized even though I'm not monetized. Something to consider for the future. Let's see. What is this thing with my dad and you, Juan? What's happening? I don't understand what's happening. Yeah, I do need a little lime in here. I did drip some a little earlier, and that added a little something extra, and I kind of liked it. Oh, Mr. Wayne Scott, how are you, sir? How do you like the Blue Refugium? Fragadelic, who are you? You're new. I think you should tell us who you are. And that way we know. You introduce yourself. Many of these are regulars. And I'm trying to figure out if you've been here before, and I really don't remember. I'm sorry if I don't remember. Consolidated down to a single And the frag tank, roger that. All right, y'all. Let's get to this. Oh, that's true. That does make you tight. I understand. AMF. DMV Reefer. AMF. Reef Keeper, what up? So, what are we talking about? We're talking about, first, I got rid of the, and if I get a little nasally like this, my bad, because that's how to do it sometimes when I'm thinking of breathing. So, I got rid of the stupid looking pop thingy that was on the microphone. I really didn't like it. It kind of got in the way. It kind of shadowed. It kind of whatever, and I'm just not down. What up, Chris? Man, y'all are all right. This is pretty active. Sunday's good. Everybody's like chilling and whatever. And here's what we're going to talk about. First, if you didn't see, I'm partaking of a little aviation. It's kind of appropriate given my past history. Oh, that does get a little poppy, doesn't it? Oh, that's unfortunate. I guess I'll have to put the pop thingy back on. It's just too big and stupid looking. We're going to talk about calibration of your sensors, of your whatevers, and like what I think you should do. You ain't got to... All right, Alex. Now I understand, and thank you. Thanks. You don't have to calibrate things, but you should, because you really don't know the state of the calibration when the equipment arrives. Here's a great example. Inkbird has a calibration function. These things are a little bit stupid where it really won't... I mean, it allows you to calibrate to the 10th, which is awesome, but really your hysteresis on the range that your heater is going to operate within is totally plus or minus 1. I mean, it'll hit the set point and coast up a little bit, and then it'll drop back down a whole degree before it kicks back on again. So if it's really cold, it's going to... your range is going to be a little more than a single degree, but whatever. We're talking calibration. This thing can and should, like shall, be calibrated. It's not something you shouldn't do. When they show up, don't assume they're calibrated, because they're probably not. Man, y'all are going back and forth in chat, and I'm not going to be able to keep up. See, there goes the nose thing. Yeah, Reef Keeper, I've been watching your trials and tribulations. Do you really think it was the iodine? Because it's really interesting. That's an interesting thing. And it looks like you got it pretty well recovered. You'll, of course, bring it back. But it is devastating. It's heartbreaking to watch that happen because you're helpless. You can't do anything about it. And I feel really bad for you. But I know you'll bring it back. And seriously, your tank looks beautiful. I know you know. But those current state pictures that you post, freaking thing's beautiful. And you can see through your glass and everything. It's really nice. Oh, sorry for the slurpage. Something else that I think is really important to calibrate. If you have one of these super handy dandy Hanna salinity checkers, the temperature cannot be calibrated. But whatever, the salinity can. And let's just get right to it. This thing is awesome. Its temperature is awesome. I've confirmed it with other calibrated thermometers, and it's awesome. I trust this device. So what I do with this, like I do with everything, because I think it matters. Bryce just sent me a message on Instagram. What up, Bryce? You take you have packets, right? You have plenty of packets. You got spare packets. You got packets for days. So what do we got in here? We got pH. What are these? I don't remember what these are. Here we go. Let's just get to these. These Hanna packets. Float these in your tank. Put them in your overflow. Stick them someplace for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, while you're getting prepared, while you're having your coffee, while you're doing whatever, float this damn packet in the tank. Oh, I swore again. You think that's going to demonetize me even though I'm not monetized? Put this in the tank. Let it get up to temperature, because this thing doesn't have to do any math, operate on a curve, whatever. It doesn't have to think about the temperature salinity curve at all. If this thing is at temperature, when you calibrate it, guess what? Better readings. This is simple. This is a big no-brainer. Make sure you float these. Do that for every calibration you do, where it allows that to happen, right? If your calibration fluid is the same temperature as your tank, when you calibrate, if you're like a Profilux, it requires you to enter the temperature, or it uses a temperature probe, whatever. If you're already up to temperature, then you don't have to do any. Sorry for the crinkling. It's like when you're at the movies and some a-hole is eating popcorn. Sir, can you please stop with the popcorn? You'll get a more accurate calibration with your device if you float your fluids in the tank and allow them to come up to temperature. Same thing goes for this when you're reading salinity. I feel like I'm preaching. Let this thing sit in the tank for a while and warm up. You notice when you put it in the tank, it slowly counts up as it's working on its temperature and getting settled and whatever. Just stick it in the tank to begin with and let it sit there for 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, and then take your reading. It'll be more accurate. Something to consider. Trust me. This works. This always works. If your fluid is up to operating temperature when you calibrate your equipment, your calibration will be more accurate because it doesn't have to do any math. Nothing has to do any math. And look, I seriously have a crush on inkbirds. Hashtag not sponsored. These things are awesome. I have them on every single tank. In some cases, multiple per tank. Because I trust them. Talk this. I trust this too. I really like this thing. This is the best thing like ever. I really like this. It's just super simple. I have salinity on the Profilux. Do I have it on the I also have it on the eCoral Pro. And it's awesome to have it there, but every once in a while, I like to confirm. And that's what I use. Calibrate. Calibrate your equipment. All right, let me catch up. Just finished unloading a bunch of corals. Yeah. That was a whole lot of corals and pretty sweet. Inkbird is a gift from God. Legit, I dig. I'm hoping for the new BRS version of the Inkbird. Kyle, what'd they do? I'm sorry, that's a little poppy. What did BRS do? Because I know they just had their Inkbird with a removable probe and the plastic probe, and that's what this one is. This is, I don't know what model this is. Whatever this one is, it has the plastic probe. I'm sure it says on here somewhere. What's the new version that BRS is fiddling with? They changed the hysteresis? Because that would be sweet. That's the only thing about the Inkbird that I don't like. Other than that, I'm good. I'm good. KZ flatworm stop and iodine. See, I'm doing a double wormwood, which is maybe the same as KZ. I don't know. You know what I did now that you're talking about it, and I could talk a little bit about update stuff, but I did go out and buy 3 Springer's damsels today. So I've been quarantining some fish, and I've got a Melanaris, I've got 6-line, but that's in the tank now. The clownfish over here in the tank. Oh, I got to put a little water in, I think. I put some pajama cardinals that I had in quarantine. I dropped them in the work tank. I have a couple more fish to move around, but then I went and I picked up some Springer's damsels. So the 6-line is in the frag tank to help with the acropora eating flatworms, because those things suck. Now I can't tell if it's slacked off a little bit, if because of the wormwood it's helping. I really can't tell. Stuff in there still alive. Like the freaking home wrecker is fine and nobody's been munching on it, but I did just move it today over to the display just in case. But I don't know. But first act of second act, because wormwood tea was the first step. Second step is the 6 line that I put in there and I can't find it. I think it might still be in there. It's a big chicken fish. But hopefully it didn't launch. I don't see it. And then third, those 3 damsels. That was a recommendation from Vinny at GHL, a recommendation from Moki. I don't know if anybody else told me the same thing, but I'm going with some springers, and I'm going to see what happens, because I really want those things to go away forever. Remember this, the tanks are connected. The display and the frag tanks are connected, but there is a hoss of a 6 line that lives in the display and has kept everything clean. So if there's a questionable coral, I just put it in the display. I don't check for eggs. I don't do anything. I just let the 6 line do what it does, and nothing in the display has died or shown any impact from acropora eating flatworms. So that's what I'm sticking with. Savage, you need to send that checker back. I don't understand that. What if you swear enough that you get... Whoa, Kyle, you're suggesting that I should swear more? And then maybe I'd monetize quicker? Is that what you're thinking? I mean, that's not a bad idea. Chris C., calibrate. Absolutely. Bert, you're a dirty old man. And I appreciate that. I do. I really do. Anybody in the DMV hear any recent bad news about Fantastic? What you mean, bad news about Fantastic? I didn't go there today. I went to Rick's. I was going to go to Fantastic if Rick's didn't have what I need. And you know what? Those stupid little damsels are really hard to catch. That young lady had to work. They don't offer tips. I should have offered a tip because she was working pretty hard to get those stupid fish out of the tank. Does the plastic impede the ability to read temp? Does the plastic insulate the probe? What are you talking about, Dan? No, what? Does the plastic read the temp? I'm stumped. Semper Fi, sea coral. I don't know, Josh. Flatworms haven't really messed with my tenuous. Yeah. The flatworms did go after the Disneys. So I did have that. What else did it? It really likes... I can't remember what the name of it is now. A real bright one. It really likes that one. So I sort of just leave it there. Savage Reefer, you are not swearing like the UK people do because, the Inkbird probe. No, I don't think that the plastic probe, I mean, if it always has a plastic probe and you calibrate it with the plastic probe, because that's how it is, then it's calibrated. I would leave it in the tank to acclimate for a bit. But yeah, I don't think the plastic tip impedes calibration at all. Juan, who's the new owner? That's interesting. See, I'm not keeping up on current events. What's his face is gone? Interesting. Wasn't Moki just up there? I thought he was up there. I saw that freaking tube anemone that Moki saw at Rick's. Man, that was beautiful. Things like, I don't know how much that was. $100? $90? I really wanted that. I didn't buy it. Back to you, Savage. No swearing, sir. Not that UK business. You say words we're not allowed to say here. What's up, Darth? ALK is fluctuating from 8.1 to 8.2 every day. No, that's fine. 8.1 to 8.2 using what checker? I believe that is, I mean, if you're using a HANA checker, that's well within the notable. That's not what he's talking about, Mother. That's well within the acceptable error range of a HANA checker. HANA checkers are 5% of reading. So your 0.1 there is fine. I'll have to ask Juan. I'll have to ask Lynn. She always knows, or Moki probably knows. Interesting. All right, let's talk shipping. Wait, one more. This is how all bar lights should look. They should not look like a middle school science project. It should not look like this is your first time ever with a soldering iron, so I'm going to build a Reef light and sell it for way too much money. They should look like this. This thing's beautiful. It's perfectly made. All right. I'm going to try to get this in blue because it looks really nice. Oh, you know what I have? I have an interesting... Wait, I'm going to share this. I can talk about it. I have a really interesting metric. Price per inch. Not like that. Price per inch of the 3 blue bars I've been playing with. So the Orphic, the AliExpress, and the Reef Bright, all 24 inches. Price per inch. Ready? Got your pencils? Oh, wait. This is going to hurt ratings. This isn't going to do me any good. I just found this interesting. And I'll do par, too, if that's what you want me to do. Yeah, HANA checker. There is no difference between 8.1 and 8.2. It is within the 5% error. Do that math, and you can see what the range actually will be from test to test. But 8.1 and 8.2 are exactly the same readings. Added an I was trying to say inkjet. Reefkeeper added an ink bird to save wear and tear on his apex. Agreed, because the relay doesn't have to fire as much. They absolutely do need to tighten up the plus or minus 1 degree. That is more than I like as well. You can generally keep it in that 1 degree range as long as the heater fires up really quick and gets to working. I'm with you, Bert. That's good to know. Springer and Yellow Chorus. So, see, I have that Melanaris, but that thing really likes sand. I don't want to give it a tank that doesn't have sand, and the frag tank doesn't have sand. Yeah, I didn't swing by. I was up in Frederick today, but I didn't swing by Fantastic. This light, this is a super bright LEDs light. This is not blue. This is just white. So if you're looking for a white light, these are pretty slick. I can put a link in the description when I get to it. It's very much it's a daylight. So it's not blue and it's not orange, but it's kind of like sunlight right in the middle there. And I have the spectrum. I could show that. I can't show it on screen. I could hold my phone up, but that's boring. We don't want to do that. What's up, Angry Owl? I got all the I sent the manufacturer request to see if we could get these in 470 and 450s because I think this thing's beautiful. And it'd be nice to be able to add this tiny, right, this is cheap as $12. Like I was saying. And wandered off. Price per inch. This is, I believe these at a 24-inch version is like $1.80 per inch. $1.80 per inch. Per inch. AliExpress, $2.42 an inch for a 24-inch light. $2.42. Orphic OR3, $6.66 an inch. AliExpress, $2.50. I'm rounding. Orphic, $6.50. What are you getting for that $4? Reef Bright XHO, 100 par less than both the AliExpress and the Orphic. Wider spread, 100 par less. Same 3-watt LEDs. And I got a packet of them over there. $6.97 an inch. 24-inch lights. $7 an inch. $2.50, $7. Y'all do the math. Oh, and by the way, you can pull the lenses off the AliExpress and get the same spread. You just won't get 450 nanometers. That's the difference with Reef Bright. You got 450, 470. AliExpress, you just get 470, but you can add 450. I don't know. I find that interesting. It just seems really expensive for what it is. So here's the deal. Wait, let me just show this. Here's what I got. I want to ship. I want to be able to ship, and I'm chicken, and I don't need to be. I got these heaters. I'm ready for winter. I'm ready to go. I bought these are pretty big. I didn't know the bag. I didn't know the bag of heaters was this big. Chrissy, I have not looked at that light that I can't pronounce. Noopski, Sodom Noomspa. You must use the Ajante dagger. It is not of this world. Actually, you said it more. It is not of this world. I have not. I'm really interested in the lights that I'm seeing floating around a little bit, because you can find a lot of the lights that are marketed for us reefers. You can find for half price on AliExpress, because all they did was just source them from Alibaba and sell them here. Whatever. Everybody got a guy. Who was it? It was Mighty Nanotank. Mighty Nanotank says everybody got to have a hustle. I was like, that's true. But I like saving money, because I could buy a nicer gin. You know what I'm saying? Sound of freedom. I want to ship corals, so I have the heaters, and I have two different kind of heaters. I got the kind of the last 4 hours, 20 plus hours, and they're big, and they get really, really hot, and I don't know what to do about that. So maybe I'll I'll wrap them up in newspaper or something. But once you put your corals, the Chinese version of the AI Hydra. I really like the Hydra. Semperfi Sea Coral, let me borrow a couple Hydras, and those things are kicking. I don't know. If Sodom Noon Spa, by the way, that's from the Golden Child, wants to send me a light, I won't keep it. I'll give it away. I'll totally test it. I'll give it an AB+, and I'll send it on its way. It would be interesting to see how it compares to the data I have from the AI Hydra. But anyway, when you put your corals in a box, I don't know how this opens because I didn't open this first. How do you know that you've done it right? So here's what's up. So, we talk about calibration. I learned a lot from my previous coworkers about calibration and stuff like that. I learned more from my previous validation coworkers about data logging and the importance of testing stuff and testing it 3 times maybe, and making sure you understand all of the data before you make a decision. So what I have done, because these are cheap, this is a pretty cool little device. What I've done is I've purchased this data logger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a box for shipping corals, because I owe LBC Reefer a Walt Disney. She is a GHL owner. She and I talked a little bit. And charge before going to bed because your watch is at 24% or 27%. Oh, geez. You better hurry. GHL owner, lives in California, and I thought that would be a sweet test. So what I've done is I've bought this data logger that tests temperature, and it also tests pH. Not pH. It tests humidity, and I don't care about that, but I do care about temperature. So I'm gonna make up a box. I'm gonna throw it in my car with the data logger inside, and I'm gonna see how it does. Right? I'm gonna keep it outside. I'm gonna see how hot that box gets. So it'll be a bag of water in a shipping box, just like I would corals. Why's my watch going crazy? And I'm gonna see what the data shows. Has anybody done this? I haven't seen anybody's done this. It would be really cool just to know, using this like $35 device, what the temperatures of the water, so I'll just put the bag of water on top of the probes, what the temperatures of those waters get to when it's just living in a box. So what I'm looking for, and Remy, yes sir, and I just want to see. I want to know. I want to learn. And the only way for me to do that is to like find legit data. And the only way to get that data is to take that damn data myself, because, you know, I trust the data that I capture. So that's the deal. I'm excited because I have no idea. I haven't shipped just because I can't guarantee the conditions of the box. I should just do it like everybody else does. I mean, I've received corals before, but I want to know what the data is. So I want, when's the best time? Best time is probably spring and fall because the temperatures are, kind of chill. Summer probably gets a little too hot. I don't know if the box would insulate against that kind of heat. So I'm going to test it. I'm going to log it. I'm going to do a couple different conditions, right? I'm going to take it and stick it in my office for a little while, or stick it in the house, or stick it in the basement, or wherever I want to put that thing. Not the probe. That's odd. The box full of fake coral water, just to see what's going to happen. So, yeah, Angry Owl, my bad. You were not here earlier when I absolutely did stir my gin and tonic with my Sharpie. Nope. Psych. I'm running 6 of them. My coral growth is exploding compared to the Chinese black box's Mars Aqua. Neil Phillips rocking the Noops Psych. Why did they name it like that? Once again, it just cool reef light. Savage. No shipping to the UK. Wait, what? Just had a minor heart attack. One of my... That sucks when fish jump. Not to laugh at your situation, Remy. I apologize. That was insensitive of me. I was feeding the fish in my tank that I don't show because I don't need that hate. And one of them jumped out, hit the wall, hit me, and then landed on the floor. And it's no slouch of a fish. And it just happened right in front of me. It was the weirdest thing. And I picked it up, put it back in the tank. It was fine. It just wanted to come out and say hi, I guess. Angry Owl, hey, can we get a video with a point and shoot of your tanks? No. I do stills of the tanks. And I have inappropriate fish in my tank, and I'm not going to show them because I'll get too much hate. I don't want to hear it. So I get really when I'm taking a full tank shot of the display. The frag tank I'm okay with. When I get pretty crafty with that tank to make sure it doesn't show the fish that nobody are going to want to see, because I don't want to hear that drama. But Angry Al, if you go on Instagram and scroll down a little bit, you'll absolutely see there's full tank shots in there, and you can see what both tanks look like. Let's see. I don't know. I'd like to keep... Well, okay. So we talked calibration, and we talked shipping. And I probably burned through all of that a little too fast. But I'm pretty excited to be able to ship with knowledge that I'm not going to bake or allow the corals to get a little too chilly. So I'm hoping the data logger does me right. If you didn't see it, it is the Elite Tech GSP 6, and I think they go for like $35 on Amazon. And you hook it up to the computer, it's got software, and you download data points, and you see what's going on. Am I going to walk home after this? But I'm not there yet, Dad. I mean, I'm comfortable. I didn't bring the... This is not the homeschool bottle, is it? I think the homeschool bottle is a little bit bigger. If you haven't seen that commercial, you should. I think there's a bigger bottom on. Let's read through a veteran move. This is okay. So look, Angry. This is the first gin and tonic I've ever had. Well, not this one. This is the third. But this is the first gin I've purchased. So there's that. But I want to ship. It'd be nice to ship some of the corals. I got, like, some of the stuff's too big, and I like to share it cheap like I like to do. What heaters did you get for shipping? I got the heat factories. I hear a good thing about heat factories. These things get stupid hot, like 100 and something 20 degrees, or I don't know. They get really, really hot. These are heat factories. And the reviews were pretty good. It's Phil, right? What do you recommend? I always like hearing from people. And Remy, you ship. What do you use? I like hearing from people who have done this better than I will ever do. Yeah, these ones get really, really hot. Thanks, Neil. I like the data. I like data that makes sense, right? I don't like whatever. I like data that makes sense. Usable data. Data that is makes sense. I don't want to go any deeper than that. I'll get my little drill. Airport tarmac. Tarmac's a funny word. Airport tarmac for 3 hours. So what's that? Just chuck it outside and let it sit in the yard? That's what that feels like. A vibrating plate to simulate the truck ride. Wow. So like that one time when I picked up coral from Remy and it rode in my motorhome from St. Louis to Maryland, like that? Because that did happen. You're not rejected. What's up, Carlos? How are you going to account for grumpy UPS guy tossing the box around? This is not a sensitivity test. I do not have an accelerometer. Not that kind of sensitivity. I don't have an accelerometer to throw in the box to understand the shock loads associated with drop kicking an effing UPS box up to the yard. And really, if somebody were to pull that off, it'd be pretty sweet, and I'd like to catch it on the camera. If they just drop that right on my porch with a kick, that would be a good video to share. However, no accelerometers, just temperature and humidity, and we don't care about humidity, right? We're not gonna worry about that. Algae Warrior, how are you? Where can I get the 450 nanometer LEDs for the AliExpress bars? You can get them from AliExpress. So get the 5 watts, which are like the dual chip 450 nanometers. Get those, because then you know that your power supply isn't going to cook them. Generally, the power supplies they're using, like the ones I use, are 700 milliamps. A lot of these 3-watt LEDs that you see out there are more like 500 milliamps, half an amp. So if you give them 700 750, they may get a little hotter, they may get cooked, or they may not be happy. But if you buy the 5 watts, like what Orphic is using in their bars, you're just under driving them, so they'll stay a little cooler, and they'll certainly last way, way longer. So what I would do is you can, what's the brand? Hold on. Please hold. Shanzen. Royal Blue. They probably going to come in at 440. That's a 3 watt. That's a 3 watt. That's a 3 watt. That's a 3 watt. Here we go. Here's a 5 watter. Model number Alpha 0357X10. So X10 is the number in the packet. So model number Shanzen, CHANZON. Model number Alpha 0357 is a 5 watt blue 440 nanometer LED. And if you put one of those every other in your AliExpress bar, there you go. This has turned into lights again, hasn't it? I don't have any lights to test. I showed a light, but no testing. Oh, we could talk about that, right? Hot hands. Never ship during winter. So I have little hotties. Sup, Remy? Little hotties. I don't know about these. These don't last. These don't last that long. This is like going outside and you're gonna do some shoveling or something. They really don't last that long. But they work. So maybe you could throw a little bit of heat in the water and then it'll make it the rest of the way coasting. Not sure. Yeah, a little bit of data. What did you think about those Orphic? What up, Jake? Did you notice how the lenses looked a little crispy, a little cooked? I thought they looked a little brown to me. Jake, so for the sake of the conversation, sorry, Jake sent me a link of a whole bunch of parted out Orphic panels. Dude had it, I think it was Reef to Reef. Dude had it, he upgraded, and he was selling just the parts. And the parts had sold already. But it was a whole bunch of pretty cool parts. And it would have been fun to play with them. But it kind of looked like the lenses were a little cooked, right? And by the way, Orphic's using 120 degree lenses like these right here that we swapped out on that Viper Spectra. 90s to 120s. Oh, I didn't test that light. I need to test that light. Ugh. Water changes on 3 tanks. So I missed the first part. Algae Warrior. That's some Road Warrior action right there. I need to empty that. My catch container for my auto water changes, it's full, and I gotta do that. Yeah. I get what you're talking about, Jake. Just got in 2 of the 24-inch 470 nanometer bars from Germany. Same type and quality as the U.S. delivered ones. I have ordered one from China, so I have another one inbound. We'll see how long it takes. The U.S. is still 0 balance. Shocker, because we bought them all. But my watch is reminding me that it's bedtime, but it's not. I've used a 3 watt ACAN. I've used the 3 watts before. Did you overdrive them? What was your power supply? That's interesting. What's up, Saltfish TV? All right, something that I've hinted at and certainly I'm excited about, but you guys know that I'm using the same spectrometer that Bulk Reef Supply uses, and it's a little too expensive for like hobbyist use. I mean, it's ridiculous. So what I've been looking for, and I played with, was the DIY spectrometer to try to get decent readings from our Reef lights, and I couldn't get consistent enough readings. I could if I knew what the reading was with the fancy spectrometer, I could absolutely get really close to the same thing with the fake one, but I had to fiddle with it a little too much to make it work, and that wasn't what I was looking for. So I have ordered one from AliExpress. Got a hold of a company with the help of Moki and talked to their sales manager about some of their offerings, and I have ordered the inexpensive one, thinking it is an awesome option. So if you like a club, maybe, or if you have purchased a par meter, then this is just a little bit more than one of the good par meters that everybody's using. And it will give you the spectrums, or all of the spectrum of your lights. Actually, a little bit wider range, too, than what I'm familiar with. So I'm interested in testing it. So what I'm going to do when this thing shows up is do a direct one-to-one comparison of $650 versus $3,000 and see what kind of readings we get. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm hoping that it's legit. And if it's legit, then it's a little bit of shift in power where reefers buy a lot of tech. And if you really want to know what you're doing with your lights, and maybe you and a couple friends and a couple of whatevers, or just yourself, you jump in and you buy this thing, and you can totally read the spectrum of your own lights. And you don't have to rely on the data of others, which is pretty slick. Now, really slick if you're into building your own lights, because then you could dial in and create whatever you want, and you'll have the data, and you'll know. Jake, it's the same bars? Throw me a link, dude. Let me see. Yeah, pretty interesting. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we can use this thing. We can understand the differences. We can get it as close as possible to the super fancy one. And I'm hoping it shows the same data, which would be pretty legit. And then, if I can work out a deal with them, maybe I can possibly distribute, because they don't have a U.S. distributor. So we'll see. We're talking. That'd be kind of cool. Jimbo would be your support, which is a little crazy, but that'd be cool. Senai. The Senai is good. Taylor King. Yeah, let me see a link for that, Jake. The Senai is good. So Bulk Reef Supply a long time ago did a review of the Senai versus their par meter. And the data was good. So totally worth, 700 milliamps. Totally worth. If you have a Senai, or you can borrow a Senai, or you find one cheap used or whatever, that is a great par meter. You don't need anything else. And I have one in my tank, and I can't pull the wire long enough because I zip tied it a long time ago back there. I can't pull it long enough to read the data from my lights. So at some point, I'm going to get that thing out of there and be able to use that as a par meter, then use the spectrometer to calibrate all of the spectrum data. 700 milliamp meanwhile driver. Yeah, they'll get a little crispy. Yeah, these are, 3-watt LED diodes. I'm responding to Acan Addict's comment about cheap LEDs. Those 3 watts, they can't take a lot of whoomp. You can get better 3 watts, some better diodes out there that can handle 700, 800 milliamps, but you got to be careful with them. It is Sawfish TV. It is a great par meter. Don't sell it short. That thing is good. Well better than decent. 1-to-1 comparison. I totally recommend a Senai. I have it. Like it. Those little slides are too expensive, but if you're just using it for a par meter, it's legit. Yeah, those 5 watts, you'd be okay. ACAN addict. What else we got? Everybody doing okay? How was your Sunday? I worked yesterday, so I didn't get whatever. I got half a weekend. Learning how to bring boilers up and bleeding off pressure on a hot water skid. Stuff that I normally don't do, but I was in helping one of the peeps that work for me. Been debating renting a par meter, but buying a Senai sounds like a better investment. Yeah, Kyle, that's funny. Kyle's got a job, so he's going to buy a Senai. Either way, man. I mean, $80, whatever it is from Bulk Resupply, to take some readings and write them down. Personally, that's not cool for me. I need to be able to, whatever. If I change lights, I want to know. I don't want to rent it every single time. So having a meter here makes it better for me. It's just nice to be able to just reach over and grab the thing and that I stole from one of my friends that I'll eventually have to get back. But I do have the Senai when I eventually get that out of the tank too. So yeah, Senais are good. That's a really good par meter. Gives you a little bit of spectrum data as well. I think that's it. Talk tank update, talk fish, talk data logging of shipping boxes and hand warmers and LEDs and calibrating your business. Always float your satchels. Get them up the temp. Want to fix your par meter that took a swim. Did you spray it down with IPA? Because that worked for me. I mean, I dropped one in the tank once and took it apart with IPA. And it totally worked after that. I'll take a look at it if you want to drop it off. Up to you, Thomas. Yeah, there you go. Is the Senai going for $200? Is that what it is? I really don't know. Yeah, the 500 down I understand, right? Because they got to protect their investment. So it's fake 500. So 500 goes on your credit card. But a week later when you send that thing back, it's, I mean, whatever. You get your $500 back. So that's cool. Oh yeah, try I used IPA. I always spray anything. Phones, like if phone drops in a hot tub or something, take it apart. Back in the old days when you could still take phones apart. Take it apart and just soak it with IPA. But yeah, drop it off. I can spray it down. I'm in Rockville now too, if that helps. I don't know if that helps you a little bit, but I can let you know. Yeah, see, Kyle knows what's up. Isopropyl alcohol, IPA. Every single time that I've had something that gets salt or whatever in it, just hose it, just legit, it's dripping all over the place. Just go for it. How do you feel about high-end planted tank LEDs above a reef tank? Will it grow coral? Mulder from the Netherlands. That's a really good question. So would that not simulate some of those super not blue but more white metal halides with their super peaky peaks? What I would suggest, and totally what I would do it and see what happens. Theoretically, the corals would adapt and grow. So absolutely try it. And then tell us, because that would be really interesting. I don't know. I haven't seen any data like that other than the metal halides that are more white. So not the 20K, the others. And cheers, sir. If you're a sir. I think you're a sir. You are a sir. I can see it in the picture. Try it. That's what I would do. There's another LED bar that someone makes and sells them on eBay. $30 for a 453 nanometer 24-inch bar. Oh yeah, I'm interested in looking at that. $30. See, that's the price. Not Orphic. Orphic uses different materials and they use glass. But Reef Bright, absolutely. AliExpress, all those bars should be $50 or less. I wish they were. It kind of sucks, Texan Boy 22. It just kind of sucks that some people took advantage of them in the beginning. Oh, the BRS rental? Yeah, that's lame. BRS was awesome to put those things up to rent. Because they're not cheap. And if you can rent that thing, because they were cheaper. Weren't they like $65, I think? And now they're like $80. But if you can rent them, it absolutely makes sense because that data is invaluable. Everybody else just guesses. You know, I guessed. How do you know what the par is? You can't tell with your eyes. So it's really good to have that meter. Yeah, it's too bad. Cheers to BRS for making that possible. I don't know that anybody else is doing it, and they should. I should do that with spectrometers. All right, you can drop it to house. Thank you. Yeah, the more, whatever, you know how I am. The more access, the easier that the access that people have. Oh, see, there you go. Remy jumping in with Twin Stars. I think the more data that people can acquire on their own and not rely on others, I think that's valuable. I mean, some people are totally cool with, hey, what's the data look like? All right, cool. That's what I'm going to do. But I like really knowing, and I like changing the scenarios, right? I want to understand what the difference is between this and that, and I would just want to be able to do it myself. Aqua Caves. Oh, so look, Aqua Cave. Daniel Evans says Aqua Cave has Senai. Is it the Reef Senai? Has Senai for $150, which is freaking steal. I mean, it could just function as a par meter, but it can also do more if that's what you want it to do. And it can totally read temperatures. If you have it hooked up to a computer that's close to your Reef, you can just remote into that computer and see that data. But $150, if it's a Reef Senai, that's a steal. That's a good price. I wonder what they're doing. Thanks, Jake. AliExpress blue light to my old tank. Yeah, 120 par. Right, exactly. That thing puts out, I mean, right? It has, I think it probably has 90-degree lenses on it. This is the 120. So you could swap them out and get a little wider spread. But it's good. It makes them pop. And it's cheap the way it should be. More white, a bit of red. I'm new to saltwater. Always did freshwater scapes. That's interesting. Are you, Mulder, are you on Instagram? I'd like to see the freshwater stuff that you did. That'd be pretty sweet. I think you should try it. I think you should try the light. I'm a guy, but that's not my pick. My bad. It's super small and I can't see anything because I'm old. Is that Dr. Evil? See, that's how far away that picture is to me. I really can't tell. Senai Home, the freshwater version, I guess. Yeah, you'll want to get, I think you'll want it, well, I don't know this. If somebody could check, that'd be pretty sweet. Is the Senai freshwater the same as a Senai saltwater with regard to par meters? That I don't know. Yep. Taylor King, the out of water thing is cool on a Senai. That works really well. The tabs, whatever. Back when you didn't have to change them every month, that was cool because they totally worked past a month. And you could see when that data started changing and dropping off, so you knew when to change your slide. Now it's every month and a little bit more money. Yeah, home style. Reef is $200. So that, yeah, okay. So $200 still. $200 for what that device can do, I think that's reasonable. Protein skimmer on a 20-gallon. Nope. I wouldn't. I don't, whatever. I don't skim now on 80 gallons. I have a skimmer in the tank, and it's just an air stone, and it just bubbles from outside air. And I don't ever empty that cup. Well, whatever. I sometimes empty the cup when I'm underneath the tank, but I really don't go there that often. You don't need a skimmer. Water changes are fine. There's no skimmer on that Pico, and that thing's pretty happy. Or the, that's a 15 tall, which is the work tank. So yeah, you'll be fine. If you have some media, some Marine Pure or Brightwell or Matrix, if you can get any of those products, that helps a lot to colonize some sweet bacteria action, and will help the tank handle any of that biological load. All right. I think we're good. I think we talked about everything. No skimmer. Yeah. I think my tank would probably be better. The system downstairs, if I had a larger sump, if I had a legit skimmer. There's value in skimming. I just don't know what it is because I don't. If I had a bigger skimmer and it was pulling out that swamp tea, then maybe my tank would look a little better. But green aqua channel instead of me. Roger that. Thank you. That's good info. Thank you. Yeah, if I had a skimmer, I'd probably be in a better place, but whatever. All right, y'all. I'm going to jump off. I have had plenty of aviation gin. We talked a little LEDs. Of course we did, because that's kind of how we roll. I'm looking forward to that spectrometer. I'm really hopeful. Not for like financial gain, because you know how I am. I want to sell things cheap. More for accessibility to the data. Not looking to make money. Just looking to help people get data that they need, which would be that would be pretty awesome. Also want to be able to ship, and you know I sell corals cheap, so again, not trying to make money. Trying to just spread it around a little bit, give people access to corals, you know, fancy stuff like cherry bombs and Walt Disney's and blah-de-blahs and blah-de-blahs and whatever. Things that look cool. It'd be cool to be able to share some of those. It's a selfish thing as well, because if I share, then I'm more apt to get it back when I screw up my tank and when I need to rebuild. You know what I mean? So share with your friends, bank things around, sell cheap, because when you hit people up, they may ship to Alaska. I wonder what that takes. Is that overnight? I wonder if we could do that. Thanks, Dad. You know, just share the love a little bit. I got a 20-gallon laying around. Optic wipe. Canister. Matrix. Tells me not to use a canister in a reef tank. No, you can totally use a canister in a reef tank. I did that. I would have, hell, I'd probably still be using a canister if it hadn't started leaking. That's how I ended up with a sump. There's no reason why you can't use the canister. It's going to get a little funky in there. So you got to clean it out once a month. That's what I was doing, but totally try it. Do it. I would just do it. It totally works. I said totally like 8 times. All right, y'all. I think I'm going to jump off. It has been awesome. I hope some of this info was helpful. I will absolutely share what I find out regarding shipping. The weather looks like it's going to cool off a little bit. Seems to be a really good time to ship right now with small hand warmers. I'd like to get ones that are, they're 8 hours. I'd like to get ones that are maybe a little longer, but whatever. Looking forward to seeing what this data shows, and we'll totally share. And like everything else, whenever, when the spectrometer shows up, we're going to do some talking, do some showing, and do some telling. So Have a good night. I hope you had a great weekend. Have a good week. Thank you all for jumping on. Thank you as always. It's pretty cool. And happy reefing. And be kind, everyone. Thanks.